Welcome back to my interview with Mohammad Saba'aneh. He is a political cartoonist and he's just published this new book, White and Black Political Cartoons from Palestine. Mohammad, thank you again for joining me.
Thank you.
So Mohammad, in segment one, we were discussing Donald Trump's visit to Israel. And we also were talking about political prisoners that are on a hunger strike and the nature of their resistance. We were talking about not only are they fighting for better conditions, more visits, ability to improve their conditions while in prison, but they're not just criminals in there. They're actually political prisoners who are a part of a movement who is struggling for liberation and freedom. Now, we also mentioned that President Trump actually may not even know that that is actually going on in Israel-Palestine. I cannot imagine him not knowing, given that there has been quite a bit of coverage. But one of the interesting things is that Mahmoud Abbas was just here in Washington as well. And he was here talking to President Trump prior to his visit, and now President Trump is visiting Israel. I mean, he must be aware of these demands that the prisoners are making. One cannot actually follow Israel-Palestine at this time and not know about it. Do you think it's a deliberate omission not to acknowledge it? And will Abbas actually bring up this issue when he is discussing or meeting President Trump?
I hope he will do it, because it will be a great pressure in Israel to accept the demands of the Palestinian prisoner. And this is, I think, his role, and this is his duty to tell Mr. Trump about what's happening inside the Israeli prison. I hope that, but I don't know if it will happen or not. He's been here in the 1st of May, and actually I was in DC also. And I don't know if he tell him about the Palestinian prisoner or not, but
yeah, we certainly didn't see it reported.
Yeah, he has another chance to. From his visit to DC until now, Trump visited the region, and the Palestinian was in hunger strike and still in this hunger strike. I think this is his duty now to tell him what's happening there.
As we speak, there is a cultural festival going on in Ramallah. Now, even in my introduction, I mentioned the fact that Palestine is unique in terms of the kinds of forms of resistance that are being used in art as a very unique part of that. And you're a critical figure in that, not only in terms of this publication, but your work comes out daily in newspapers and portray the struggle that's going on. Do you feel that your collective work is having an impact?
Yeah, sure. And you can't, unfortunately, but you can see the reaction from the Israeli government and supporter for Israel as an impact from my cartoon. They refused my cartoon, and they always attack me and attack my friends as a cartoonist because we are doing this cartoon. And this is something very important because they feel that the cartoon is something very important. And you know what's happening with Naji Al-Ali, as a Palestinian cartoonist, what's happened with Ghassan Kanafani, and a lot of Palestinian creative during all of the Palestinian history. And I know that the cartoon is a very important tools to resist against the occupation and to raise the awareness for the people around the world about what's happening in Palestine. And I choose this kind of art because I know how much it's very important kind of art to resist. And we have a huge legacy from the Naji Al-Ali cartoonist, and we should keep work in the same school, at the same way, to fight against the occupation and to resist to have our freedom in our homeland.
Now, as a cartoonist, what was your reaction to the Charlie Hebdo attacks in Paris and the kinds of cartoons that they were portraying? And it became a huge controversy because of the way in which Arabs were portrayed in the covers and inside the pages of Charlie Hebdo. But at that moment, what was your reaction?
Actually, I published a lot of cartoon against what's happening for the cartoonists there, and I was against what's happening for the cartoonists in Charlie Hebdo, and I published my cartoon in Cartoon Movement website, and a lot of my colleagues in Palestine, the Arab world, was against what's happening there. But at the same time, I'm not agree with their cartoon, and you should keep the peaceful environment in your country between all of the people, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, and all of these people. Why you want to provoke this hates between the people? I had another way to respond on this cartoon, and I invited all of the cartoonists, the Muslim cartoonists, or whose belief on that this is something wrong, not to criticize the cartoonist or the cartoon they did about the Prophet Muhammad or about Islam. You should, if you believe that Islam is, or any religion, it's an ideas, you should fight for this idea by idea. You should explain what is the Islam, what is the value of Prophet Muhammad by the cartoon. And this is our way as a cartoonist, and as I think as a Muslim and as a human being, to fight the idea by idea, to fight the cartoon by a cartoon. That's our way, and that's our tools.
Mohammad, much of your work is dedicated to the BDS movement. That's a boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement that's been very successful in many parts of the world. It's so successful that the Israeli government is also launching a huge attack on the BDS movement, lobbying universities, states, and country by country to make sure that they don't support any feature of the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement. But you are having a great deal of success, and you're focusing in on particular products made in Israel in your artwork so that people can relate to those products when they see your cartoons.
The same thing, because I feel that the cartoon is something very effective for the people, and the people like it, and I hope I can help to boycott Israel by my cartoon. And I should mention that the last year, a lot of Israeli cartoonists launched a campaign against BDS, and they exhibit their work, and the Israeli president opening this exhibition, because they believe that the cartoon is a good tools, and we as a Palestinian, we had a great legacy as a cartoonist. We should also work in the cartoon, but I don't think we will have the same support. The Israeli president opened their exhibition. And because I believe in BDS as a way to resist against the occupation, not just in Palestine and also around the world. I did a lot of cartoons to support them and to clarify what's the idea of the boycott of Israel. I don't know why most of the governments around the world now, they are against the BDS movement. It's an army tool to resist against the occupation, and that's, if you prevent them to draw or to boycott or to do anything, they will go to the army resistance around the world also. This is the good tools, and I believe in this way, and that's why I did this cartoon.
All right, Mohammad, I wish you a lot of luck with this book titled White and Black Political Cartoons from Palestine. You're on a book tour, and I hope you, the listeners, get to see his work and his talks in some way. And I hope that this interview has contributed to promoting this book. I thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us here on the Real News Network.